Okay, here we are. Another week. It's November 25. This is Thanksgiving week because on Thursday everyone goes gobble gobble and their 35 million turkeys sacrifice their existence. 50 million turkeys, whatever. Lots of turkeys. We, I don't have any turkeys yet, but I plan on buying 2 of them on Tuesday evening. I'm going to go over to Publix and try and get 2 fresh, unfrozen 16-pound turkeys, maybe 15-pound turkeys, something like that. But 2 small turkeys. I have the brining mix. I have plenty of salt. I bought 60 ounces, two 30-ounce bags of kosher sea salt. For some reason or other, a lot of the salt people have kosher salt. Rabbi level, it's does whatever he does to bless the salt. So I have 2 bags of kosher sea salt, 30-ounce bags. So the rule of thumb, if sorry. The rule of thumb is 1 cup of salt. It could be kosher, coarse salt per gallon of water. So this kit that I bought on Amazon is, which I can show you here, I think. Let's see. Let's go to Amazon. The miracles. Press that button there. Orders. Yeah, it came yesterday. Because I wanted it yesterday to make sure I wasn't making it. There it is. Organic turkey brine kit. Yeah, we brined it. Here it is. There you go. You can see it. There we go. The San Francisco Salt Company turkey brine kit. I got 2 of them. I don't know if I need 2 of them, but I got 1 per turkey. I may be able to put both the brining. It comes with a brining bag. See right here. Turkey brine packet, heavy duty PBA-free brining bag. It is a huge Ziploc bag. It's the one of the biggest Ziploc bags I've ever seen. But I think it could hold 2 turkeys. But I got 2 kits, 2 brining bags, and what they tell you to do is it comes. Let's see if I can page along here. I'll show you what. All right. This is what's inside. This is the part of the kit. Is you get this stuff, these seasonings, with a small amount of salt, not enough salt. I looked at the instructions. So basically, what they tell you to do is empty out this bag of stuff. Let's see if it shows you the bag. There's a turkey. There's this organic spices, organic dehydrated garlic, organic sugar, organic rosemary, organic peel, orange peel, organic mustard seeds, organic dehydrated onions. All right, that's what's in this stuff right here. Yeah. So that's good. I like that idea. So they want you to take this bag of this stuff and put it in like a quart of water, a liter. Add this to a liter of water. Put it in a saucepan, and boil it. Get it up to boiling temperature. Stir it around for 4 or 5 minutes. Let's see what the instructions say. Let's see. There we go. I'll do a reverse thingy here. Combine contents of brine with 1 quart of water. There you go. Bring to a rolling boil. Stir occasionally. And then remove from the heat and then cool it. Put it in something and put it in the refrigerator and chill it. So it's best to do that, like Tuesday night. Get that mixture. They want you to boil it because they want all this dried stuff. These seasonings and things. They want it to become undried. Yeah. So they want you to boil it up, and then they want you to chill it. So you put it on the heat, put the stuff in there, rolling boil, and then chill it. I'll probably do both bags of that seasoning, and put it in 2 quarts of water. I think. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Why not? Maybe I'll do one. I'll do one at a time. I have 2 bottles, which I use when I make a lot of tea. So I'll do one. I'll do a liter. I'll boil it up with this stuff, and then I'll pour it into a bottle. And then I'll do the other one with another liter of water, and then put that in the refrigerator and chill it. I'll have to think about what kind of a slurry mess that is with all these ingredients, which will probably expand a little bit. So I don't know if I can get it in the mouth of that, but maybe I'll see. I'll put it in something so that yeah. So then you refrigerate it. Yep. And then Tuesday night I'll get the turkeys. So I'll have a couple of those, and I'll ride around and I'll go wherever I got to do to get to 16-pound turkeys. Fresh ones, not frozen. If they're frozen, then I'm going to have to leave them out overnight, cover them with towels, and let them get unfrozen. And hopefully by Thursday Wednesday, no, because I gotta brine them, so those suckers can't be, no, I gotta get fresh turkeys. Forget about it. I can't get frozen ones unless I get them today. Yeah, maybe I should run around today. Oh boy, yeah, tonight. When Marilyn gets home, I'll go back out. Oh, yeah, she'll probably want to come with me. Maybe not. I'll go out there and get the turkey. I got the brining. I'm team turkey. Team turkey, team gravy. Yeah. And So the fun begins. And Marilyn's got the menu all decided. I'll show you that tomorrow. It's on the refrigerator, but I forgot to bring it in here. I'll take a picture of it, and that way I can show it in the images that I have. And she's got the checklist of all the things to buy. I mean, we're really well prepared. Tonight, we have to go over that and coordinate who's going to get what and when. Anyway, but the brining stuff came yesterday. I wanted to get it, inspect it. You know, I got 2 boxes. I opened up one. So if I didn't like it, I could send one back. But it looks good. This is how it comes. You can see the shaded thing underneath the word brine. That's the heavy-duty bag. And it is. It's a heavy-duty Ziploc bag. And then here's the package of seasonings and salt, which is all sealed up. Good for best if used within the next 2 years. It can be used pretty soon. Comes in a box like that. You get 3 things. Well, you get the bag, and you get the seasoning. Yep. Pretty nice little kit. Yeah. I'm happy. Looks, they have another one, organic apple sage. And they tell you what, I got the regular garlic one. Yeah. If you want to sweeten it up, you can add a couple of tablespoons of sugar in the brining mix if you want to. And there is some sugar. You'll see organic sugar, whatever the hell that is. Sugar is sugar, right? Organic rosemary, organic orange peel. Anyway, so that sounds like a nice variety of seasonings, mustard seeds, and you can see that's what it looks like. You don't get, I don't know, they get 3 little pieces of garlic in there. I think that was not in the bag. That's just to show you that is the garlic rosemary blend, and they put a couple pieces of garlic in the picture, just to remind you that it's the garlic seasoning kit. There it is, right there. How cool is that? I'm picking that up right off of Amazon.com. Let your fingers do the walking. Yep. Let's see what my blood sugar is. Do we know? Yeah, 127. Yeah, there it is. So that's good. You can see the green zone right here. Whoop. Anywhere above 80 and below 180. 80 to 180. That's the green zone. And I spend a lot of time in the green zone. Yeah. Marilyn has my password and the login and password, so she can actually see my blood sugar through the internet. So she can see it on her iPad. She had one in the office, which of course she doesn't. She could, her office computer, you can log in. If you have the, Libre link up. You see in the very top? I can't reverse pinch that for you. Libre, Libre link up. So it can actually see my blood sugar. I could send a link to my doctor You don't want to watch my blood sugar. My blood sugar is under control. I'm taking weekly shots of Ozempic. You get a kit. I don't know if I have it here. I do. I have 2 kits. There you go. These are used. I have a piece of tape on this one. Let's see what's inside. Yeah, okay. There you go. So this is the pen that they gave you, and it has a cylinder. You can see the plunger is all the way up. See that white plunger? I know it's a little out of focus, but you get the idea. And then on the top is the needle, which you can't see that. It's a very fine needle. So it comes like that. Has a little. You could put it in your jacket pocket, and it comes with a package of needles. Look at that. They lift right out. You peel off. I'm not going to do it, but you peel off. There's a little handle right there. Oops, can't see. And you peel off this tab. This is sealed up, hermetically sealed. You know, because it's sterilized. Yeah. So that's your. So you have 4 needles because you have 4 weeks, and you take a. You turn. So you open that up, and this thing here. You can't see it so well, but you rotate this, and it loads the spring-loaded, and then you stick yourself in the belly. The needle is so fine you can't feel it. I swear to God. You know it's the diameter of 2 human hairs. That's pretty. And amazing, it has a hole in the middle, you know, where the Ozempic travels, you know, through this needle that has a hole in the middle, obviously. So the reason why I have, so this is the 0.5 milligram kit. See, it's orange. And then this is the 1 milligram kit, which is some kind of a dark turquoise. Yeah, it's kind of, that's the video you're seeing there. That is the right color. And this is a 1 milligram kit. And then you, after that is the 2 milligram kit. So every month you step up another level of concentration. 0.5, 1 milligram, 2 milligram. So you have, you know, so in 4 months, you're up to 2 milligrams. And, you know, they bring your body use, you know, they break it up into small increments so that your body will get used to it without causing any abrupt changes, because it is, it affects your entire alimentary canal. You remember that word in high school biology? Your alimentary canal. Your stomach, your large intestines, your small intestines, that whole alimentary canal. Can kind of slows down. It gets very slow. And accordingly, if you read the brochure, the fine print, which of course I read the fine print. I read about half of it, and then I get buried in this biochemistry, which I'm not really. Hold on a minute. Every once in a while, the iPads, they have telephone numbers in them, because that's part of the chipset. So when you're out and about, you pay up for that about $130 if you get an iPad with the cellular chipset. And so included with that, embedded in that chip, is a data line. And then you activate that data line with AT&T, for example. I think you can buy AT&T or Verizon chipsets. I think you have a choice of that. Anyway, we're AT&T customers. And it works very nice. But these advertisers, people trying to sell you stuff. I get telephone calls from all over the place of people that I don't know. And instead of calling but in addition to calling your cell phone, which I reject those calls and immediately go to, voicemail. They either leave a message or they don't. I'd say it's 90% no messages. Because they don't talk to you, they're robocalls, They just hang up and go to the next number. I just think they go through the phone book sequentially. And hopefully they get someone to answer. Anyway, if they're not in my address book, they automatically go to voicemail. I've been address book 2,500 people in my address book, round numbers. And if someone calls me and that number is in my address book, I may answer it, but if they're not in my phone book, then it's probably someone I don't know, and it goes to voicemail because, you can't talk to everybody. And my phone number is listed everywhere. I've been a FAU faculty member for 20 years, over 20 years, actually. And my phone number is listed there. My phone number is listed on my website. My website has had 26 million visitors. Can you believe it? Over a period of time. 26 million people. I have a counter on my website. I'm talking about the website that houses all my images. 416-1100.com. We've got 400,000 images broken down into 36 different topics, like lifestyle images, FAU events, FAU sporting events, and you click on that, and then breaks it down. FAU football, FAU basketball, FAU golf, tennis, softball, baseball. I think I got all the sports covered. Anyway, on that site is over 50,000 pictures of FAU football. Can you believe it? Every home game, almost every home game, dating back to the year 2000 when they started. Yep. And we got the very first home game. They played the first couple of years. They played their games, their home games, because they didn't have a stadium at FAU at Joe Robbie Stadium Can you imagine? Phew. And when I was in the banking business, we built Joe Robbie Stadium. It was a construction loan that I signed off on. 1982, something like that. 26,000 car parking. It's in my resume. Yep, because it was one of the big loans that I did in my background. It was like 150 million, something like that. Can you imagine? It would be a billion five if they built it today. But back in 1982, it cost, about 200 million. The Joe Robbie family enterprises, contributed probably 50 million into that, and then 150 million worth of construction financing produced a 75,000 seat stadium with 26,000 surface parked cars. And at the time, it was a really, really upscale. It's been improved, over the years. They had, at least 5 Super Bowls. Whenever I wrote my resume last, it was 5 Super Bowls. And every time they have a Super Bowl, the NFL gives the stadium money and instructions on how to improve it so that it is satisfactory to the NFL, specifications. For example, if they first came to Joe Robbie Stadium, one of the things that they would require is, brighten up the lighting, make the lighting, fine-tune the lighting so that every square inch of the grass, where they, and the sidelines are illuminated with the same intensity of light. So not only does the lighting have to be consistent all over the grounds, where they play football, the 100-yard markers on each side, and they want to make sure the lighting is consistent, no hot spots, no dead spots, dark spots when you look at the playing field, and is the intensity bright enough? So they want all the lights, focused in the right way. They're usually 4 or 6, light stanchions within the stadium. So they want all those properly aimed, and they give you instructions on how to aim all those lights. From the time it was originally put together, when we did the construction loan, the people that install the lighting, they do a pretty good job on it, but they're not fine tuning, the focus of each of those light, and they're big lights. Each light is, this big. It's a big lighting fixture, probably as big as this whole little studio arrangement I got here. It weighs 20 or 30 pounds. It has heat sinks, and it's made out of aluminum alloy, and it has a parabolic mirror inside the light fixture, and the lighting element has to be the right temperature degrees Kelvin, like 4,000 degrees Kelvin. They don't want 2,500 degree Kelvin. They wanted a nice, bright, white light, which gets, and each, they're usually in the corners, elevated, obviously, above the field. And each, you might have 20 or 30 lights mounted on an array, and each one is focused, on this part of the field, and then over here on this part of the field. So the whole field has to be covered. The lighting has to be properly balanced so that every square foot of that playing field is illuminated with the right temperature of light and the proper brightness. And they tell you how many foot candles, and during the nighttime, the NFL people will go out there with foot candle meters. I have one. And, the needle has to come up to the right intensity level, or, they have to add a couple of lights, refocus, reposition certain lights. It's a complicated business when the networks are very picky to make sure that the field is properly illuminated, assuming it's an evening game. Most Super Bowls that I've watched are evening games, so so that they kick off at dusk. By the time they get to halftime, it's dark. And the lights are on at dusk. They put those lights on, at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Let them heat up and get up to temperature, color temperature. It's very important. So there's no distortion when the TV cameras are, capturing the players, the light intensity and the light consistency all over that field has to be up to the specifications outlined by the NFL. I mean, and so they come in when they pick your stadium. So, it's like a contest, and the stadiums that want to have the Super Bowl, they put an application in there, and then a whole bunch of people go through these applications, and they come down with a winner. And this year's football, in the year 2028, they give you like 4 or 5 years advance. Miami-Dade has been selected as to host the 2030 Super Bowl. I'm making that up. So that's how that happens. And they give the stadium a couple of years to get up to speed. And then, of course, the NFL makes some advanced specifications, and they pay for it. They give you a budget. So if you're picked, that's a good thing. And then the second thing they do is they provide, $100 million or some pool of money to enhance your stadium with, certain things. It could be egress, ingress. It could be traffic stuff. It has to do with facilities, plant and equipment. Make sure there's enough lighting for the guests, and the right number of entry gates, and the security stations that are, and magnetometers. Everyone walks through, and you got a lot of them because you probably have 50 different, pathways for people to come in. In the 4 different quadrants of the stadium. I think the stadium at Boca Raton has like 12 different gate openings, to admit students and guests and whoever else to watch, the FAU football games. FAU Stadium is like, like 30,000, 25,000. Can be expanded to 45,000 because they don't have sections in the end zones. So that would bring them up another 10 or 15,000. Anyway. But the FAU college stadium would not be a stadium that would be considered for the NFL because number one, they want the stadium, a requirement, prerequisite to making an application for the Super Bowl is, you would have to be playing NFL games during the season in that stadium. Not college stadiums. These are bigger stadiums, that have 60, 70, 80,000 seats. Anyway, I think one of the last times that Miami was picked, Miami was awarded the Super Bowl. I'd say awarded because you apply to do the game. And the lighting, and you have to have press booths for the thing, and the the announcers have to have the right lighting in there. Yeah, so and the NFL pays for it, but it has to be in place. And the NFL inspects it. And, it kicks butt if it's not done, forgotten, or not done properly. It's quite an enterprise. The NFL has had, a number of contests. They're in the 50s, I think, right? So they got 40 or 50 years experience on how to broadcast an NFL event. Yep. People don't realize how complicated it is. All the stuff you got to do to broadcast and the wiring, because you got 20 cameras set up all around the stadium. Low level ones, high level. You have to have outlets down below that plug in the side of the wall near the field, and they can plug in their cameras into those feeds for the audio and the video contribution when their producers are switching around. When the NFL comes in, I'll tell you, they come in. They've got 2 semi-tractor trailers. One of them has all kinds of stuff like cables and connecting things and cameras, there's millions of dollars worth of stuff. And then the other tractor trailer is a complete production studio with, 30 or 40 different flat screens that are illuminated with the cameras that are set up all over the stadium. And they generally hire camera operators, in the city where they play. They don't have a travel team, so to speak. They might have a travel team of senior people that do the inspections to make sure everything is up to snuff. They come out there, a week or so before the event, probably 2 weeks. So if they come up with things that need to be done, they have time to do it. The stadium should have had it done because they've had a year advance notice on what needed to be done. But let's say they come out and the inspectors see, ooh, they're missing this or missing that, or the lighting and in the northwest quadrant of the stadium isn't consistent with the southwest corner. Anyway, then they have to go up and refocus the lights, which is not an easy task. To set all those lights up and have them aiming on the right part of the field, because these lights take time to warm up and get up to the intensity and color temperature. It takes probably 2 hours for those lights to get properly balanced and heated up and so forth, because when they warm up a little bit, the color temperature changes a little bit and the intensity changes a little bit. So when they turn on the stadium, they turn it on a couple hours in advance of the event, so that the color temperature is all balanced. But if you have a light that's out, you got to have spare lights that are exactly matched in color temperature of the output of the light in degrees Kelvin. Like 4,000 degrees Kelvin. That's, I would imagine, that is the color temperature that they want, because it gives you the best color with regard to all the green that's in the grass. And you got, it gives you marvelous skin color, skin tones, so 4,000 degrees Kelvin, yeah. 4,200, 4,000, somewhere right in there. I'll bet you. So that's what happens with the Super Bowl. And, that plays in January, right? Later part of January. So everything I'm talking about is at full speed. And they're focusing on the stadium that's been selected for this year's Super Bowl, which at the moment I can't tell you what that is. We can find out. I could do a live screen. Let's do it on this iPad. I got more iPads than I's got pickles. I got at least 1, 2, 3, a MacBook Pro and a phone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 different video sources. Anyway, so this one is offline, but you can see it. But it's not, this one's hardwired to the system. So let's go 2024/2025 Super Bowl, SUPERBOWL location. CTION. Oops. Where'd the O? Where's the O? There we go. All right. Super Bowl locations. NBC Sports, NFL, San Francisco. Let's see. 2000. This is 2000. So this we want. I guess we want this one. So NBC is going to produce it. All right, here we go. Waiting for this to get populated with this. Kansas City Chiefs defeated Philadelphia Eagles to win the Super Bowl 57. So I guess we're so this would be Super Bowl 59. Caesars Stadium, New Orleans, Louisiana. February 9th, 2025. There we go. I got it right there. So you have to figure out, is it 2024, 2025? Yeah, there we go. That would be Super Bowl LIX. So the I subtracts from the X, so 10 becomes 9, and L is 50, if I remember my Roman numerals. Yeah, there's Super Bowl 58, 59. Caesars Superdome, New Orleans. I've been in the Superdome, yeah, because I was shooting FAU football, and the very first one they had with Schwarzenegger, right, as the coach, we rode up there, flew up there, I guess. Yeah, with the donors. We were kind of like special photography people. We paid our own way, but we flew. I think we flew in the same plane as the some of the FAU founders and folks that throw in a lot of dollars for the FAU football sports situation. Yep, Super Bowl 59 will be played on February 9th, 2025. Yep. Yeah. New Orleans was originally set for Super Bowl 58 in 2024. However, due to conflicts with the Mardi Gras celebration, so it switched it to 2025 because of the conflicts with the Mardi Gras. And they play when they play, and can't have the Mardi Gras walking through the middle of it. So the Big Easy will host Super Bowl 59, February 9th, 2025 in New Orleans. And they have, one of the requirements for a city that is, I'll say, lucky enough to be able to host the Super Bowl, because it gets a lot of media attention, and the whole week before they actually play, they have special pre-game stuff, and they've got these players frequenting the all the nice places in town to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I mean, you get a lot of media attention, put it that way. So if you don't know anything about New Orleans, you watch the pregame stuff with the Super Bowl, and you're gonna learn a lot about New Orleans. And I had a business partner many years ago, and he was a tight end with Bear Bryant. So I got to learn a lot about football that I didn't know. And whoops. So put a red line on here. All right. There it is. Let's get rid of that, yeah. So did I get this? Oh, done. Yeah, there we go. Now it's saved to photos, and I can bring it up on this screen. Yeah, it's not easy being queasy. Let's see, there it comes. Bingo. See, now I can shoot. Now what's on here is what I'm looking at over here. So I can shrink that down. So there you go. You can see it. Now this one I can do the reverse pinch. Las Vegas holds the 2024, and New Orleans. That's an exciting town to have NFL football. And New Orleans will host the 2025. And I think I said February 9th. There it is. Super Bowl 59 in Roman numerals, LIX. February 9th, 2025. The Caesars Superdome in New Orleans, Louisiana. Boy, that town will be... You get all these media people show up, and you got all kinds of celebrities that show up, and they got special seating in the stadium, and yada yada, or in the, the sky boxes that surround the whole, that ring around the whole stadium. If you don't have that, built in to your stadium, you'll likely not be. You'll be disqualified as a potential host of the Super Bowl, because you have to donate, a week's worth of occupancy for X number of those skyboxes that are around the stadium. And the NFL will go in there and say, yeah, I want that one, that one, that one, and this one, this one, this one. And, they lease out at like $100,000 a week. They're big. We had 50 or 60 of those boxes all the way around the stadium. And people either, it depends, it's different. Stadiums have different arrangements. Some people can buy the boxes. And then you have to pay, $200, so the box could be a 16-seat box. It could be a 30-seat box. It could be a 50-seat box. So if it's got 20 seats, let's say, that are built in the box, then you got to buy 20 tickets. And they set the price, whatever the heck it is. So you have to pay, money to wherever the money goes. Like you come in the gate and you bought your ticket in advance, and it costs you $1,500 a ticket. The box seats are even more expensive. So whatever the price is, you gotta buy the Super Bowl tickets. Now you buy them, a year in advance, so you're going to get a good price. But then you have to, each box owner, whether it's a lease or a purchase, that varies stadium to stadium. I think the boxes, for the Miami Stadium are like condos. It's like a big condo association. So if there's 60 boxes all the way around, you have like a homeowners association, to maintain the boxes and make sure the glass windows are clean, inside and out. So there's a certain amount of common areas that you have to keep up to snuff and pay for. So it's not only, so you have to buy, season tickets for the box. Yep. And because you get to watch all the games, for the entire season, every home game and all that. And you have the box, and you can see, Taylor Swift is playing in that stadium, then you have the right to watch that event, and you have to buy the tickets for the seats that you have in that box. But that box is yours. You can let other people use it, but it's your box. Yeah. So you you can see whatever events happen in that stadium because you have the box, and you may have to pay, for seats for the event, um, and your seat is, one of the 16 seats in the box. If that box is a 16 seat box. Anyway, that's how that works. Yeah, we've gone to, because you can have all kinds of events in those stadiums. They can have concerts in there. They can have, soccer. They can have basketball to put down the wooden floor right in the middle of the stadium, carefully so they don't screw up the grass. Yeah. I think Barack Obama had a big event when he, I forget, when he won the presidency or when he, no, it was before he was elected. He had a rally, I think in Colorado, in a big stadium in Colorado, which I don't know the name of that venue, but he was there, and it was like an 84,000 seat, arena, and everybody, they filled all the seats. It was a sellout crowd, and I looked at that, and I saw, Barack Obama, from way back, from someone's like sitting in the back corner of the stadium, and what it would look like to watch whatever the heck's going on, in the way they outlined the walk-in of Barack Obama and his wife and so forth. And it was, like a postage stamp looking at it. Was so far away with the wide-angle lens that they had on the camera. And I remember seeing that shot. And Meryl and I are watching the live coverage of, Barack Obama in the Colorado Stadium. And I said, Marilyn, he is going to be elected president. I mean, you can fill a stadium with 85,000 people. And, you're getting to hear him, and, his wife accompanies him, but he does the talking because he's the candidate. And I said, Marilyn, he's going to win the election. I don't give a crap what the polls say, and I think the polls are in his, basically favor him to win. But I just based it, I don't know anything. I just based it on the fact that, look at that stadium. He's filled the stadium. Gosh, that's why I looked at Trump, and he's doing these events all over the country. And I said, Marilyn, there's no way he can lose this election. They can't cheat enough to make this not happen. I mean, look at every venue he has. They're standing room only. They're standing online two days in advance, of even being able to get in, the event. And he fills up the arena, and in Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx, I think it was. Oh my God, 20,000 screaming people in the Bronx. Then he goes to California, he got 30,000, people there. And, he was traveling around to blue cities. You got blue and red, so to speak. So anything in California is blue. And he went to those cities and had some events because, there are some Republicans there, or maybe people that are on the fence that say, you know what, let's try Republican this year. Not a very scientific way to approach it, but as Trump says, what do you got to lose? Give me a shot. I'll make it better. The economy was a whole lot better when I was president 4 years ago. and then Obama and his crew loused it up. So I'm gonna bring it back to where it was. And you're gonna America. We're gonna make America great again. That's just right, MAGA. How do you not want to, root for that? What do you want to make America lousy again? They're going to clean up all these cities. From one of his speeches, he said there will be no, cities that will protect these, illegals. And he'll deport them like crazy. Now, he'll work on the criminals first, but he'll round up any illegal there is. And if the cities don't want to cooperate, doesn't matter. We're still going to go in and clean out all the illegals, particularly the ones that, are on the crime list. They've committed crimes in their foreign countries or in the United States. If they have a criminal record, they get deported, because they're illegal. And he's going to have a mass deportation. And my imagination is he'll have to create these tent, in each location. There'll be these huge tents erected with air conditioning, heat or cold, either heating or cooling. The tents will be air conditioned. And they'll house 10 or 20,000 illegals, in various regions around the country. And they'll be collected. They'll be sorted by country. They'll be bused to an airport. They'll have private chartered 737s and 757s, which hold 200 and almost 300 people, and they'll be flown out of, there'll be a mass deportation, and they're going to get rid of every illegal that has a record, a criminal record, and you won't have these villages of junk, that's all going to be cleaned up. And the illegals they'll be abstracted from our society. We can't afford to feed, house, and educate, 10 million people. You just throw them in a country, and we got to take care of them because they don't have anything. Yeah, that has to stop. That is going to stop. Period. Yeah, that'll have to stop. So, there's my little Super Bowl. Just did a little search. Found what we wanted to do. Did a print screen, which creates an image. And then I brought it up on this iPad, which is wired right into my MacBook Pro here. And then these video signals get broadcasted all over the world, because this is a simulcast I started out with Facebook Live, then I added YouTube Live and Twitter Live. And yeah, so there. It's pretty good. I mean, my handle is FAU4U. How simple is that? I am on adjunct faculty at FAU. The letter is open-ended, doesn't expire. And it began, James Wilson, we are pleased to tell you that we have accepted your request to be on the faculty at FAU. And you will have FAU adjunct status at our university. And it was by unanimous vote. So I had to, I met with a couple of the professors and so on. It's pretty, yeah. Dr. John Harlan made that happen. He said, you got to meet a couple of these guys because they're always asking questions. So let's put the fire out with those guys and let's meet with them privately before we take the vote. So we don't get any, well, I don't know who he is. This way you'll be known to these 3 or 4. So he set up a meeting in his office with several, it was, I think it was 3. May have been 4, but 3 for sure. And I met with them. They're very nice. It was like, hi, how are you? I mean, it wasn't that they didn't drill me with a bunch of technical questions. They just wanted to meet me. It was like, let's meet. It's like a meet and greet. And we met and greeted. And we made friends, and I'm I can stand with them or sit with them in a conference room and hold my own. I'm not a tree stump. I've been told I'm a pretty smart speller. Yeah, that's what some people say. And, in my subject, I worked with a guy that actually wrote SAT and IQ tests for Educational Testing Service. His name was William Blattner, Blatner. He wrote test questions for the Educational Testing Service. And he said, would you like to be a guinea pig with me? Because I write, he told you that. He said, I write test questions for ETS. I said, well, what does that mean? He said, well, I'll give you like 3 or 4 test questions that are multiple choice, for example, and I'll give you the questions and you'll answer them and you'll have 15 or 20 minutes to do it. And then I'll look at, the questions and your answers and evaluate whether the choice of answers was, where you could differentiate between the answers so that you would, if you knew what you were doing, you would be directed, like this answer, no, it can't be that one, so you cross that out. And you look at the one on the bottom, well, it can't be that one. And then you have a couple that are close to the right answer. And then you give the right, and hopefully you pick the right selection. But the ones that are close, they have to be specific enough so that there really is a correct answer. And if you're really sharp on your feet, you'll pick the right answer rather than the one that's close but not fully correct. That kind of thing. So he threw questions at me, 3 or 4 at a time, for about, for a couple hours. And then we'd be done and, chit chat between these little sessions. And that gave him information as to whether he structured the questions and the answers correctly. If I could differentiate the close, from the right answer, as opposed to the almost right answer. And there might be 3 answers that are close. And you have to, so he would test me in my subject area, and he'd throw out questions, that is not in my subject area. Like basket weaving or something. Anyway, so I did that with him for, like 6 or 8 months. And he said, well, we'll do this on, let's say Thursday night, from 6 until 8. And as compensation, I will cook you a really good dinner on Friday night. So you'll do the Q&A, which will be business, a business meeting, and as compensation, I'll make us, I'll make the two of us a nice dinner on Friday night, and you'll come over to my house, and I'll be Chef Blattner, William Blattner, Bill Blattner. He taught English, when I was teaching high school math. But he had this other role of in his extra time, spare time, whatever, he would write test questions. And once he had the question and the answers fine-tuned, then he would send the question up to Evanston, Illinois, for inclusion in the next, IQ test or whatever the heck test he was, trying to help create. And that's what he did. It was interesting that ETS would hire, talent all over the country that understood how to make test questions, So they give you a paragraph you have to read, and it would discuss, a certain topic, and it would give you, factual information that you digest in reading the question, and then they come up with a, so you had to read this paragraph, and then they would, underneath that, they would have a question. And then it had 5 answers about this paragraph above. And that's, it's like a reading comprehensive thing. So he had all these questions, and he gave me the questions. And I answered them to the best of my ability. And then we would review it. And he would say, well, why didn't you pick A? I said, well, because the way you set up answer A, and that's what we would do for a couple hours on Thursday. Unless we had some kind of, other meeting, which might, supersede this one. Just about every Thursday we would do that, and every Friday he'd make dinner. It was really quite interesting. He was a very interesting fellow. I mean, he was a smart one, and he told me, he said, Jimmy, you're actually extremely smart in your subject matter. He said, you're off the scale. You're really, and he wasn't, he wasn't trying to be falsely flattering. He was very complimentary about my capacity back then. I think I have some of that capacity now, but yeah, he said, in your subject matter, you really score off the chart. Because he gave me some full tests as experiments, So I became quite the test taker. Because every week I'd get this practice. So I learned how to take a test, and I learned, because he taught me, how they design these questions and how they design the 5 answers, because you got to pick the best answer. It wasn't quite so easy, so to speak. You'd have to eliminate this one, eliminate that one. You come down to 3 possible answers, and you'd have to pick the best one out of those 3, because you try to eliminate a couple, because it can't be that answer, and it can't be that answer for whatever reason. But you got these 3 other answers that are close, and you go, oh crap, which one would be the right answer. You read it over and over, So it was work, to do what he wanted to be done. But it was interesting, because then we would discuss. He would privilege me with showing me how he'd be designing these questions. And it was very interesting how they try to tease you into the wrong answer. So you had to be, a sharp fellow to get through some of the minefields here. So, but that's, it's interesting that that I was picked for that. But it was great. I'm glad, I got lucky enough to be picked. And he either picked really smart students in the school, or you would, and or really smart, faculty people. And I can tell you, I've been on the faculty at FAU for 21 years or so. And, not all of them are really the sharpest knife in the drawer. Some of them are pretty regular. But there are a bunch of them that are really smart cookies, and you can tell, And it's not just because of their behavior; it's because of the way in which they talk to you and analyze things, and you can tell the wheels are turning upstairs, so to speak. Yes. Anyway, so my God, there's so much. Here's a nice picture I found of Marilyn and my daughter. Marilyn on the right, and Robin on the left. How pretty are those two? Wow. With the White House in the background. They're standing up against the wrought iron fence. Yeah. We're planning on a trip. Next year. Oh yeah, 4th of July. The notion came up. Let's go up to Washington, D.C. to visit Robin for 4th of July. We'll stay at her house for, one day, 2 days of travel, one day up, one day back, and then let's say 4 days there. So if you get there Wednesday, that's considered a travel day. That's not one of the holidays. So it'd be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you travel Monday and you travel Wednesday. And then you got 4 days sandwiched in the middle. 4 days is a nice day, with your daughter. And she's got a nice house on the water, and I think she has a boat, and you float around on the water on the boat. And right there in Maryland. It's a nice house. Very nice place. And she's done well for herself. She owns like a $2 million house, free and clear, no mortgage, no debt. That's the nice way to be. Yeah. All right. It's sunny and 63 at 7:26 this morning. You can see up there, 7:26. Yeah, well, it's now, according to my thermometer right over here, which you can barely see, it's 77.9 degrees and 58% humidity outside. And in my little studio here, it is 69.3. It's always a little chilly. Studios are always a little chilly, so, I opened up this vent here so that, let's just get it in the high 60s. And I have like three shirts on, one over top of the next. Steve Bannon showed me how to do that. I don't know if you ever seen him. He's always got 3 or 4 shirts on. Yeah, lots of layers. Anyway, it's 69.3 degrees in the studio, so that keeps you awake. So, you talk a little bit faster than normal because it's a little chilly in there. All right, I've been talking about all kinds of things. I promised you I would show you the kind of tea that I get. And here it is. And I'll show you on, there you go. You see right there, that is, I took a photograph of this can this morning. What time did I do that? I did it at 7:18 a.m. Look at that. There's the EXIF data. And, yeah, there's the can. And there's tea inside. You know, loose tea. You know what that looks like, right? Whoop, I gotta peel back the magic tape. Yeah, it seals it closed. There we go. Get it back. And if you can see inside there, there's 500 grams of, oh, the aroma is amazing. Aromatic Early Grey. I have that right in this cup. I have a, you know, the K cup. Well, I have a strainer, you know, with a K cup holder, and you open it up and there's a strainer in there, real super fine strainer. So I put 2 scoops of that, close the thingy, put it in my doodad that does the K cup. With, you know, set it to 14 ounces, you know, whatever the largest setting there is. I put this insulated mug right underneath. And of course I add half and half to it, because that makes tea with milk or cream. Or half and half. That's what I do. And it's right there. Sip it through a store. It's warm now. It's not hot because it's 10:25. I made it, you know, 7:30 this morning. So, 7 and 4 is 11. So it's 3.5 hours old. Anyway, there it is. Ahmad Tea from London Tea. Aromatic Early Grey. Rich color and flavor. You know, they got a little, look at that. This, talk about a reverse pinch. Inspiring the love of tea. And then London, you can see right underneath that teapot. You know, the famous shape of English tea. And you have this building behind you. 500 grams. Early Grey. Yeah. There's a little local grocery store called Sultan's. I go down and buy this 500 gram tin of tea. It costs $15, including tax. Yep. Here's there you go. Here's the instructions on brining your turkey. The ratio of salt to water for brine is usually 1 cup of salt per gallon of water. So that's what I'm going to do. So there's a bit of salt in the brining mix. So I'll probably make that a half or 3/4 cup. When I open up that bag and discern how much salt is in there, it's hard to tell with all these other ingredients in the same sealed bag. So when I open it up and dump it into the 1 quart of water, which they want you to bring up to a rolling boil, and then, you know, for a few minutes. And then once everything is dissolved, Then you let it chill. You pour it into something and let it chill. Put it in the refrigerator and get it cool. And then you add that to the brining bag when you're ready to brine. And there's a time on that. So it's usually, like 12 hours, something like that, to really tenderize that meat and make it nice and juicy. Once you brine a turkey, if you haven't brined a turkey, you need to do it because it has a magical effect on a turkey when you let it sit in the salted mix with, some seasoning. And you can do it without any seasoning. That's how I first did it when I first brined a turkey. I just put, a cup and a half of, salt in a gallon. It took a gallon and a half of water to make sure the turkey was fully covered. If you put the turkey in a pot, then the question has to be a real big pot to put a turkey in it. And, you got to get it in the refrigerator because it's got to sit in the brine for, 10 or 12 hours. So you can't let it get warm on you. The turkey has to be chilled so that it doesn't, spoil on you. So the brining bag, the Ziploc bag method is a real good way of brining because you can get away with brining with about a gallon of water. Whereas in a pot, you may need a gallon and a half of water, which is okay. It's just hard how are you going to get that in the refrigerator? But in the brining bag, you seal that baby up and squeeze out all the air. You can roll that up and slide that right in one of the shelves or the bottom shelf of your refrigerator. And even have 2 turkeys, it'll fit right in there. Put, 1 turkey per bag. And that's the plan. And then, when you're ready to cook, you take the turkey out of the brining bag and pat it dry. You don't rinse it off because you have some of that seasoning that's in the brining mix. So you just want to pat it dry. You don't rinse it. You rinsed it before you put it in the brine. Yeah. So when you get your turkey and so forth, you rinse it off real good. Put it in the sink and stick water inside and, wash out the cavity and wash out the outsides and all that. And then shake it, turn it upside down and shake it a little bit to get rid of, the water. And then you put it in the brining bag. Yep. And so you boil the mix first. You chill it then. So you do that the day before you're going to brine because you want to make sure that chills down from a rolling boil down to, 45 degrees temperature it's in the refrigerator. Because you're going to add that to the turkey once that water's chilled. You don't want to put the boiling mixture in the brining bag, so to speak. No, it has to be chilled. You want to rolling boil it to activate the dried seasoning and dissolve the salt that's in that package, which is probably, from what I looked at so far, I would say that's a third of a cup of salt. So you need 2/3 more salt to have, so you'd probably add a whole cup because you're going to need a gallon and a half of water to cover up that whole turkey. And I'm talking about a 16 pound turkey. 16 and a half. Fresh turkey, no, never been frozen. You have frozen turkey, you got to start working on that tonight because you got to set the stage for defrosting that turkey because you can't brine a frozen turkey. Yeah, no. It's got to be totally thawed out. So you got to work on that as of tonight because Thursday night you're brining. So Monday, Tuesday, so you only got a couple of days to get that turkey thawed out. A turkey, when that sucker's frozen, that is a big block of frozen stuff. And you got a bag of stuff that's inside that's frozen. So that all has to be defrosted. And that could take a time period. If you run out of time, you can put the turkey in the brining bag and just put a gallon of tap water, a gallon and a half of room temperature water in the brining bag with the turkey, and then put that in the refrigerator, and that'll help defrost the turkey quicker because you've got water that actually is attaching itself to the skin of the turkey, so it'll tend to defrost faster. And then when it's defrosted, you empty out that brining bag and discard all the water because you only put that water in there to help expedite the defrosting period. Yeah. So, and then if Tuesday night, that sucker hasn't started defrosting pretty good, then you have to take more drastic actions. The easiest way to do it is to just buy a fresh turkey that's not been frozen. So if you want a butterball, I think they're all frozen. You have to start working on that tonight to successfully defrost that sucker. The drastic action is you would take it out of the refrigerator and let it sit out. Put it in a roasting pan and cover it with a couple of towels, a couple of shop towels, bartender towels, and just let it sit out for 2 days with some bar towels over it, because it's going to defrost from the outside in, and you don't want the outside. You want to cover it so that the temperature of the outside skin, stays above 55 degrees. And you can accomplish that because, you could put it in the brining bag and fill it with just water and squeeze out all the air. Make sure there's enough water in there to completely cover the whole turkey in the brining bag without the seasoning, and let that sucker defrost out of the refrigerator because you ran out of time and that sucker's still frozen solid. Yeah, so you got to defrost it on the kitchen counter. If you cover it with a couple of shop towels and take a look at it every 4 hours or so, and you might roll that turkey over, so that the top of the turkey is on the bottom and the bottom of the turkey is on top. You just give it a 180 degree turn and then put the shop towels back on it. Let that sucker sit until it thaws out. In 2 days, should be done. And then you're ready to do these steps right here. And, take care of the brining mix the day before you're going to use it. And, I brine it a little longer than what, I brine about 14 hours. So if I get it all set up at midnight, by then you got to add how much time you're going to cook it. If you're going to put it in the roasting oven at 325, it could take 3.5, 4 hours. I tend to cook at a little slower temperature. A little slower time and a little lower temperature, which makes a real nice turkey. You just have to make sure the meat gets to, so the cooking time is unknown. It's probably 3 hours or so. So it's the or so. And the way you know that is you put a probe in there and you're done when the temperature in the meat is 165 degrees. That is the magic number, 165 degrees. Then the meat is cooked, but not overcooked. Don't cook it to 170 because the heat, that's temperature kind of like, in the outside. And that heat on the outside will then penetrate the meat and increase the temperature of the meat on the inside. So that the meat is too well done. And it turns out, like when you slice it, it's like sheets of cardboard. It's all dried out. So you don't want it all dried out. You want it to be nice and shiny, but cooked. If the meat is transparent, it's not cooked. It turns white as soon as it's cooked. And that is, like 150 something, the meat starts turning from transparent to white, essentially. So 165 is surely cooked, but not overcooked. So 165 is your magic number. And it could take 4 or 5 hours of cooking at a lower temperature to get that to 165. And you got the meat thermometer right there. It's live action. You can see it on your Bluetooth to your phone and everything. You can look up these cooking probes that are attached with a wire. And it leads right to your iPhone with a USB-C plug. And you can see the temperature right on your phone. Yeah, it's amazing. The probe plugs into a central box. You get that right, and you can have up to 4 probes with this particular company that has, and in that box is a broadcasting a Bluetooth signal, and your phone connects to that Bluetooth signal, reads the signal, and you can see the temperature, the interior temperature of your bird. Yeah, right on your iPhone. And of course, there's a widget that puts it right on your wrist on your iPhone, on your Apple Watch. It's amazing. Yep. So we had to get involved with the turkey business because this is the turkey week. So the action starts right now. And yep, you gotta Wednesday night, Thursday you cook it. It goes in the oven at 10 o'clock in the morning. And it's coming out, you figure 4 or 5 hours. Of course, we're going to cook it at a relatively low temperature. I think we have the oven up just to, blast the, it's a convection oven. so you can blast the skin, and so you have a good skin color, and it's attached to what's underneath. So you run the oven hot for like the first 30 minutes, and you turn that baby down to 280 degrees, and you run that about 4 hours, and that'll get your turkey up to getting ready to be cooked. Yep. There's a little setting that someone came up with that you can be in that private area with the plants. That's your little safe room that you can huddle up in there and desensitize yourself, because you need to just calm down and meditate and not get all bundled up with all your stresses and discoveries. So there's a little meditation area. So here, this is an article which are being written every day. So you can Google it and just use the keywords. So I have right here in the head of this image. Trump got millions of dollars, and here's what they want in return. Yeah, it's not quite that direct, but you could Google the Q&A and see what happens. So the question is with Warren Buffett is the market is hot. So why is he sitting where he's sitting? And you can just look around. You got 3 liters of milk surrounding you, down in this cold environment. So, the 3 of us have Warren Buffett. The great Warren Buffett. Yep, he's selling a lot. He sold 90% of his Apple stock. My grandfather had an expression: "You never go broke making a profit." So, keep making profits in the stock market if you can. He's had a lot of Apple stock, from this article, which keys into a filing with the Fed, which I think is Form F. And you basically disclose all your stock sales and present holdings. So here's that list. I just restarted everything. All right, here we. Yeah, we are. This is a Chinese solar panel. Yeah, a huge array. Look at that. And it goes all the way down this way. And it goes all the way down that way. This is huge. And it's just flying there. And then a bag will appear. So the question is, how will China impact the future of climate change? Yeah, they do two things at once. They don't do it one way. They hammer on both sides of the equation, which is kind of crazy. It is a nice little place. Taken from, we're sitting right here where ankles of people are like looking at three different angles. We're in the middle. They say you don't get what you don't ask for. Oh, this morning. All right, I can't seem to connect where I need to connect to, so I'll just check out of this. Let's see what's going on. This is Jimmy doing his simulcast. Oops, let's turn off this key. Yeah. Oh, here it is. It's right there. View event. There you go. This is what we're doing now. Yeah. This was a key that was out there about 3 hours before the 9 o'clock event. All right, we can make it. All right, tonight or tomorrow is turkey night, depending on whether you have a frozen turkeys or fresh turkeys. I think we're gonna go with 2 fresh 16-pound turkeys. Spatchcock them, and then brine them, and then cook them. Yep, that's the plan. So, I wish you have a nice day. It's 10:55 in the morning. We've been flopping around with this. Look at that beautiful picture in the UK, United Kingdom. Siri is getting a full makeover to accommodate the AI chatbot situation. Helpful stuff. And Warren Buffett has turned a lot of his assets to cash up there sitting in the fund. So he's not getting penalized, he's not withdrawing anything. He's just in cash. We have this. What is this? Oh yeah, space. I'm just giving you some of the headline news there. SpaceX is desirous to increase the number of shots that the Starship is going to be doing, because it's a system that is amazing. All right. You gotta go with what you got. 1 cup of salt per gallon. Yep. There's my tea. I was hunting around looking for the book I wrote. It's got to be in the closets over there, back there near your guest room. It's not in my little. I thought I had a copy right here somewhere, which I may. I just got to unpile all the stuff. We got a little pile going here, about 8 inches of stuff. Yeah. It's not easy being queasy. Once you start believing in yourself, magic starts happening. Yep. That's how you transform ordinary moments into extraordinary moments. show you my textbook another day. Can't find it, which is always frightening. Where is my cell phone? Not the new one, I have that one. Where's the Model 10? Roman numeral 10. 10. We're done. Have a nice day. We'll talk tomorrow.